everybody, welcome to episode 41 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby and I am coming to you from New Brunswick, Canada. Today is Sunday, March 31st, 2019. I would first like to welcome any new viewers who may be tuning in for the very first time. Welcome. And to returning viewers, welcome back. This is a podcast mostly about my knitting adventures. Sometimes there's some crochet in there and all the fibery fun, but mostly knitting. So yeah, I'm going to first start off by doing a little administration. So I announced this last week. If you look in the description box down below, you will find show notes to the podcast. I used to post them to my Ravelry page, but like my podcast group on Ravelry, but I'm no longer doing that anymore. I'm just going to post show notes down below and you will find direct links to the patterns that I talk about. So it's just a little bit easier for me and a little less time, so I've done that. And you can also find all the social links as well down below to where you can find me on the internet. So yeah. So how have you guys all been? It's been 2 weeks since I last spoke to you guys, and it's been great. It's been really nice here in the Maritimes. We've had some beautiful spring-like weather, and I am definitely enjoying that. So sitting outside a lot and getting my knitting time in, it's just amazing. As you can tell, it's a sunny day here. The sun is coming in my window here. I can't really stop it, but hopefully it doesn't disrupt too much. So yeah, it was fun 2 weeks. Yesterday, I ended up taking a little road trip with my best friend Shelby, and we went to Fredericton, and we spent the day there. We left yesterday morning, and we just made it into Fredericton just in time for Cricket Cove to open up. Cricket Cove is our local yarn store, so they have a shop here in Moncton, and they also have another one in Fredericton, St. John, and there's another location, I think it's called Black's Harbor, and it's in Nova Scotia. So they have a couple stores throughout the Maritimes here, and we decided to take a trip to the Fredericton location just because I had lived in Fredericton for a little bit, and I knew that it was a little bit bigger and it's a little bit more wheelchair friendly than the one here in Moncton. I can get into the one here in Moncton, but it's got like maybe a step like that, so it's somewhat difficult to get into. So we decided to go there and check it out. So we had a lot of fun, and I would like to send a big shout out to Kathy. Hi, Kathy. She was working there yesterday, and it was really nice meeting you and seeing all the beautiful yarns. It was so amazing. So if you are in the Maritimes and you're going to visit the Maritimes, highly recommend you check out the Fredericton location, or even the Moncton location, or any of the locations that they have, because Cricket Cove is pretty cool, just saying. So we had fun there. I think we spent almost an hour in there. I did take some pictures, so if you excuse me, if you look on my Instagram, I will have posted some pictures of our little visit there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I did get some yarn, of course, so I'm going to show you guys that at the end of the podcast in stash acquisitions. So yeah, we did that. We went for lunch, and then we decided to go to Wiens because we both love Wiens. So we went over there, and we were supposed to go from there to the mall, which is like across the road, but we were so tuckered out. We went to Wiens and then Michael's. Michael's is right next door to Wiens. So by the time we went to those two places, we were tuckered. So we just decided to head home, grab some coffee, and kind of rejuvenate ourselves. But at that point, we were pooped. But all in all, it was fun. It was really great, and I had a lot of fun. So, yeah. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with some lovely things that I received this week. I was going to put them in the back of the podcast in stash acquisitions. Oh my gosh. But I'm actually going to put it here because one of the items is knitted. So first, my best friend Shelby, she made me this beautiful little bag. We had a sewing session last Saturday, and she has a sewing machine, and she brought it over to get better acquainted with it. And it was really funny because it didn't leave here. It did leave here. It wasn't burnt, so she did a really good job. But she made me this bag all by herself at home. She used a canvas, and it's got like this pretty strap on it, and it would go on the side of my wheelchair on my handle. That way I can hang it on my arm, and I can put stuff inside of it instead of, you know, having a bag on the back of my chair that I have to reach back for. So I was super excited about that. And I was even more happy to see this. She actually hand embroidered that. And I think that was maybe her first time trying it. And she did amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. So I love it and I cherish it. So thank you. I'm definitely going to be using that. And then I posted this to my Instagram as well. But she also made me a beautiful infinity cowl, and it is super beautiful and I love it. I'm just gonna fold it up a bit so you guys can see the texture a little bit better there. This is the Hill and Dale pattern by Espace Tricot. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and yeah, it is so pretty. I just love that texture. She used Broco Vintage in the Oats colorway to do it. And I'm not quite sure how many balls she used. She might have used two balls, if I remember, or 2.5. I can't quite remember. But yes, so beautiful. So I treasure them. I love them. So thank you so much. I had to share that with you guys because it's so beautiful. So I'm gonna now move on into finished objects, and I'm actually wearing one of them right now, and I'm going to take it off so you guys can see the gorgeousness. But I finished my Krissy shawl by Cozyupknits. I got it off the needles this week, and I am so excited. So it is a crescent shaped shawl, fingering. Actually, it is fingering. I did the fingering version, but the pattern is written in fingering or DK. So you could do either. But I chose to do fingering weight. And it's absolutely beautiful. So you start off with some garter. Then you have some pretty lace sections. And then these rows here is where your contrast color comes in, and you're actually doing some short rows, and you create like these wedges, and it all comes together so beautifully. And then you finish off here in the bottom with some lace. It's so pretty. I love it. So the yarns that I used are Lay Family yarns in the Rose Garden colorway. And I spoke about this last time, but at the top here, I wanted the shawl to be subtle. So I thought I wanted this color to stand out the most. So I started my first wedge up here. You might be able to see that. I started doing it in white as my contrast color. And although you can see it, I thought that it was going to fade in too much. So I decided to then use the mustard, and I'm glad I went with the mustard. I do like it. But yeah, I used Rose Garden by Lay Family Yarns. And then the mustard color is Cascade Heritage sock in the mustard colorway. And I really adore this shawl. I do think I will make it again, but probably I would do the DK version. But it is just so pretty. I love it. And if you actually, if I get the video up in time, if you head over to Cozyupknits, Ravelry right now, they're hosting a 31% coupon code on the Katie shawl. And there might be some other discounts going on right now because it was the twins' birthday, Krissy and Katie. So they had some discounts going on their patterns on Ravelry. So do head over and check that out. I'm not quite sure what's going on right now, but I did see the Katie shawl was at 31% off today. So I highly recommend the patterns. They are wonderful. So anyways, there it is. My bottom part looks a little wonky, like my bottom border here. I don't have blocking wires. It is a crescent, so it's super hard to get the shape with just like T-pins. So I'm gonna be investing in some, and I will wash it and reblock it again to get the full thing. But I love it. Super beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna try to put it back on. I have been wearing this thing to death since I finished it because it is just so pretty. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think that my new favorite style is crescent. Just wears so beautifully. Love it. So again, that was the Krissy shawl by Cozyupknits. Okay, so I have two more. They're hose, but I got two more. The first one I have to show you is my stripy, I'm calling them my stripy spring socks because several people have commented saying that it reminds them of spring, and since it is spring, it's very fitting. So that's what I'm going to call them. So last time I shared this with you guys, I think I was past the heel. I'm not quite sure. But I decided to pick it up and I finished the first sock. So I'm not following any pattern. I just cast it on 56 stitches on a 2.25 millimeter. And what I chose to do was I do 8 rows of each color. I cheated. I would have liked my stripes to be somewhat smaller, but I was afraid of the ends that were going to be left over, so I hate weaving in ends. So I decided to do the thicker stripes, and I'm okay with that. They're really nice. I did an afterthought heel, and then I did a wedge toe. At least I believe I did. Can't remember. I think so. So to do the afterthought heel, I highly recommend you check out the tutorial that Kirby Werby has on YouTube. It's a wonderful tutorial on how to do an afterthought heel. And then my toe, I believe I did the one actually from the SOS pattern, which is by Susan B. Anderson. It is a paid for pattern, but as I've said before, it's so worth it. She shows you how to do not only the heel, but how to do the toe, and it's very informational, and she has some neat tips and tricks in there on how to do different things. I don't want to say what they are, but there's some really cool tips and tricks in it. So highly recommend that. That's the Operator Sock Pattern. So by Susan B. Anderson. So yeah, there's the sock. I will go over the yarns quickly. This is Barnyard Knits in the Grasshopper colorway. This is Barnyard Knits again in the Rosebud colorway. And this one here is gorgeous sparkly pink. I don't know if you can tell it's sparkly. think so, but it's got gold sparkle in it. This is Wool and Vine yarns, and I have been hoarding this for over 6 years, I believe. And today I happened to look back on my Ravelry page of an old project I had started with it, and it turns out that this is on her blitzed base, and I bought it as a discontinued colorway, so she doesn't have it anymore, but the colorway name was Pinky Swear. So it's just like a pretty peachy pink. I really love it. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I knit, after I put my scrap yarn in for the heel, I knit about 5.5 inches, and then I put my toe in, because that's usually what fits me well. So yeah, there we go. Really loving that one. And then I decided to pull out another sock this week. I've never showed this one before, but I had casted it on, gosh, I don't even remember, maybe a month ago, just for something to take with me in the car or watching TV. And it's the Thomasina Socks. I think I said that right. It is part of the Miss Powder Sock Club that I bought from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast, and it's got this beautiful texture pattern going on here, and the ribbing is also different too. I've never done that kind of ribbing. You can kind of see how it looks slightly different in the knit section here. I don't know if you can see that. It's super pretty. So I followed this sock to pattern. I put in the heel and gusset, and I did the same toe that she writes up in the pattern. The only thing is I made it into a shorty sock instead of like a longer sock. Summer is coming, so I don't want too much bulk. I wanted something shorter. And also, although I think that this pattern is very pretty, and I tried it on, it feels nice and snug on the foot, I don't really enjoy knitting it that much. It's just not something that I enjoyed. It's not knocking the pattern at all. I think it is beautifully written, and I think it looks beautiful. I just don't have a lot of joy knitting it. So other than that, I highly recommend the club. I'm really enjoying the club. I knit the Jemima socks first, and now I'm going to be, after I'm done these, I'm going to cast on the Peter socks. That's the last and third one in the club. So highly recommend you go over there and check that out. The yarn that I'm using for this sock is Knit Picks Felici, and this one is Beyond the Wall. So we got some blacks and grays and a pretty blue color. Super nice. I was hoping to get one pair of socks out of one 50-gram ball, but I'm not quite sure that's going to happen, but we'll see. So there is that. So now I guess we'll move on into works in progress. I'm still on my my record of doing monogamous knitting. You know that if you've watched me before, I'm not too good with it. Well, I'm trying to keep on track. So this week, or the past 2 weeks I should say, the socks were my smaller third thing, and in between that I finished off the shawl, and I've kind of been going between my shawls right now because I had 3 of them on the go, and I got this one done. So now I have a worsted weight shawl and now 2 fingering weight shawls. So, but I'm still, every week I'm choosing 3 objects to work on. That way I can get more work done on them and get them finished, so I can show you guys and I can wear them and enjoy them. So yeah, I'm still trying not to cast new things on. Oh, I did cast one thing on though. Anyways, works in progress. So the first thing I'm going to share with you guys is actually a new cast on. I was going out the other day and I wanted something easy to work on, and I didn't really want to take my either of my socks along because I knit my socks on DPN, so I would have had to cast on in the car, and I really didn't want to do that. So I decided to start a hat. So I was watching one of the Bakery Bears podcasts the other day. I'm behind a couple episodes, but I noticed that Kay had done a hat, and it's the Lat Hat. And the pattern, okay, there's the designer's name. I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'll probably butcher it. There you go. But it is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just a simple slouch style hat with a beautiful cable panel going up the side. It is worsted. Worsted or DK? It's worsted. Oops. I'm pretty sure it's worsted. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. Oh, it is DK. It's DK. So it calls for DK weight yarn. Not sure. It's not saying how much yardage you would need. But I'm using Barocco Vintage. And I don't have the ball band in here, but I'm pretty sure it's the smoke colorway. So let me see here. Yes, it's color number 5106. Focus. It's not going to focus. Oh well. Doesn't want to focus, but I looked it up on Ravelry when I created the project page, and it's the smoke colorway, and it's just this beautiful heathered gray. Really like it. And Barocco Vintage is actually 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon, just in case you weren't familiar with it. So it's become my new favorite yarn. And if you go to the Cricket Cove in Moncton or Fredericton, they have like this huge wall full of Barocco. They have the vintage chunky, they have the worsted, they have the DK, they have all the Barocco just set up there, and that's this beautiful rainbow of colors. And yesterday I just sat there in front of it for like 10 minutes just admiring. I was like, oh my gosh, can I just have this in my house? Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Anywho, back to the hat. So I casted it on a couple days ago. I've gotten this far. I was hoping to have it done for yesterday, but didn't happen. So here you can see the beautiful cable pattern that's going on. I just love it. Well, I think I might modify the pattern slightly. I would like to put a giant pom-pom on it. So I'm thinking I'm not going to do it slouchy. I'm going to stop shorter, and that way I can put the pom-pom on. Because my colorwork hat that I did, I have the problem with the pom-pom like pulling the hat back because it's so massive. So, and that hat turned out somewhat slouchy, so I'm going to try to make this one a little bit, you know, more beanie style slightly. And I want to show off, I've shown these before, but my beautiful stitch marker. It came as a tea, I can't remember what it was called. They are glass beads, and the Progress Keeper is the, it looks like a teapot, and it's silver, and in the inside you have one of these beautiful glass beads with this floral detail. And all the stitch markers each have like this painted floral flower on it. They're in different colors. And I brought the card along with me this time. It is Yarn Candy Studios. She is Laura Baker, and she's from Ajax, Ontario. And she has a shop on Etsy. And yeah, I really, really love these stitch markers, and I would highly recommend them to anybody if she's still stocking them. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus. There we go. So I recommend you check her out. She has lots of beautiful stitch markers, but I absolutely adore this set because they're so beautiful. So there's my Lat Hat. And as I said, I will have it linked below so you can find it as well. So there's that. It is a free pattern. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. So there's that one. And the next one I have been working on is my Scania, which is a pattern by Caroline Wiens. I will again have it posted below. And the Grocery Girls did this shawl as a knit along on Krissy, or now it's known as Blueprint. And I saw it for the longest time and wanted to do it. So finally I got the colors together, and my gosh, I can't wait for this one to be done. So I didn't get a lot done on it. The last time I shared with you guys, I was to here, and I got that much done. So not a whole lot, but it's getting there. And there's a better idea of what it looks like. So there is it's got like this beautiful mock cable going down the side. And the part I'm most excited about is I'm not worried about my ends because this is supposed to come apart somehow. And we're going to have like a frilly border on it, like fringe, I mean. And I'm super excited about that because I love fringe. So I cannot wait for that part and see how that all works. But the yarns that I'm using for this are Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. And what you're doing, and you could probably tell, is you're holding 2 strands of fingering weight doubled, so you get that marled effect. If you were to buy the pattern, I believe, or not the pattern, but you can buy a kit from Blueprint, and it uses the Cloudborn, I believe it's called, base. And you can buy it directly from Krissy, and you get to pick out your colors that you would like to use. And it's really nice. I just chose to use the Knit Picks because I really like the Knit Picks Stroll, and I already knew that it was really nice and soft, so I just went with that. But I will show you my colors. I can get them in order here. So it uses 5 different colors, and my first one is just a basic black stroll fingering, and it's just in their black colorway. And then I'm using Cobblestone Heather. My skeins are starting to get a little messed up here. And color C is Ash, which is like a medium gray. And then one of my favorites, Dove Heather. And the only one that is not Knit Picks is my white. And this is Cascade Heritage, just in the white colorway. So, yeah. I am marling all these together. It's a beautifully written pattern, and I am loving it so far. So hopefully I can get some work done on it this week, because now taking it out, I just want to work on it and get it finished. It looks so beautiful. So that was the Scania. And what do I have next? Okay, I have one more work in progress, and then we'll move on into stash enhancement. So the next thing that I'm going to share with you is actually a project that I had started back in November, I believe it was. I started it, and for some reason I set it aside and it just forgot about it, to be quite honest with you, until I was doing a little bit of cleanup and I discovered it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So it's in a new Made by Me bag. I got these beautiful mini charm packs. They're from the fatquartershop.com, and the Fat Quarter Shop is they have many different kits. So they have lots of beautiful fabrics that you can buy, but they also have kits. They have subscription boxes. So there's a subscription box that you can buy for, I think it's $40 a month, and they will send you this beautiful box of sewing stuff. So you get some fabrics, and sometimes there's rotary cutters and all this fun stuff. They also have one for layer cakes. They have one for charm packs. They have the one for the mini charm packs, and they have lots of wonderful stuff over there. So I was wanting to get some charm packs, but when I saw their club for the mini charm packs, I had to try it. So I got it for 1 month, and this was February's. I believe I got February's. And it was 4 mini charm packs, and they're all Moda. And I believe I paid $18 Canadian, and that was with the shipping. So I thought that was decent. So what I did here is I just took my charm pack, and I was a little sad because I did four mini charms down. I have 4 left. If I had put them here and lined them up, I would have had a slightly bigger bag, and I would have used the whole charm pack, but that's okay. And then this purple is just it's just a basic cotton that I picked up at Michael's or Walmart. It might have been Walmart. So yeah, it's a variation between it's Erica Ardnot. I never know how to say her name. I think her YouTube channel goes under her name, or Confessions of a Homeschooler. So yeah, she has wonderful tutorials on some of bags. She's got an easy drawstring bag. She recently came out with a tote bag, and what it is, it's this canvas tote that has the pockets on the front and the back. It is a drawstring still, but you have the big straps for a tote bag, and it looks really nice. So my bag it's pretty much that tote bag. I went off of the tutorial. I did the pocket. You can't really tell, but the pocket is divided here. So I sewed down the middle here. So my pocket is divided. And I don't know if you noticed, but I messed up. I forgot to seam in my edge here. I didn't seam that in. It wasn't until I got that part, like I pulled my bag outward, and I was like, oh man, I forgot. But that's okay. It's just adding to the charm of the bag. I'm not going to be too worried about that. But I pretty much followed that tutorial and did everything. The only thing I did not do is my back is plain, and I didn't put the tote straps. But yeah, I used some of my mini charms for a strap as well. And yeah, I can't say enough. It's a wonderful tutorial, and she also subscribes to the same Fat Quarter Shop clubs as well. So if you're at all interested in maybe what some of the subscription boxes have, she actually has videos on some of the months that she has gotten. So I highly recommend that you head over to her channel and check her out. So inside here, I also took my charm pack, and I did a pocket, and I left the edges raw just to mimic the front here. So out of one mini charm pack, it's 2.5 by 2.5, if I remember correctly, for the squares, and there's 42 squares. So out of one mini charm pack, I was able to do the front pocket here, and I was able to do the inside pocket, which you can't see too well, and I did the strap, and I have 4 left over, so that ain't bad at all. So yeah, I got 3 more charm packs left out of the package that I got, so I plan to make some more bags like this. Anywho, sorry about that sidebar. On to the knitting that is in the bag. So I had casted this on back in the fall, like I said, and I decided to use some of the yarn that I got from my trip to the island, Prince Edward Island, last spring. So I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I knew it was going to be a shawl, but after going through my patterns, I decided that I wanted to do the Impressionist shawl by Helen Stewart, and it is a crescent shaped shawl again, so I am super excited about that. So how the Impressionist shawl is done, it is a fingering weight. You have 3 colors. So you have a light, you have a medium, and you have a dark. And you go through this sequence with your yarns, and it just turns out very beautiful. So it's not really a fade, but it's gorgeous. So I decided to do it that way, but slightly different. So what I've done here on my top part, mine really does look like a fade. This top section here is supposed to be the light color, but I've chosen to use my mini skein set that I picked up at the island, and it comes with these 5 colors. Now the colorways did not have names attached to them that I saw, so I can't tell you what the colorway names are. All I can tell you is that it was a hand dyer from the Maritimes. The information, I'm going to create a Ravelry page for this project, because apparently I did not create one at the time. So I will be sure to create that, and hopefully I will be able to give you guys the correct information for the yarn that I've used. But I will just take a couple of them out here. This was some of the minis that came in the set. I end up dropping one and I cannot pick that up gracefully, so there's this one, which is like a light green, and then we have a more medium green, and then we have some ones that are white and green, all the greens. Sorry about that. The ball that I dropped, the cat got. She dragged it all the way down to the living room, so I had to pause for a minute. It's the lightest of the bunch, and it's a very light green, and it's speckled with some of the dark speckles. So gradually it gets down to this one, and it's got the darker greens in it. So I decided to use this as my light color and just fade them as my light color. So it's gonna change the look up slightly, but I'm really enjoying that look, so I'm just gonna go with it. So my medium color, I've just started fading it in here. And what I am doing, I should have explained that first maybe, but what I'm doing with my colors here is one of the lovely parts about Helen Stewart patterns that I love is that she actually has all these pages, and each row you can mark off, and as you go down, she'll tell you what the percentage is that you've knit so far, which I really like that. And right now it's really helpful because I'm able to look at the pattern and I'm able to judge my light sections. I'm picking off the light color and I'm making it into sections of how many rows do I need to do of one color in my fade. So I have 5 colors for my fade, so I'm able to, you know, even them out as much as I can. So that's how I'm doing my fade here. And now I'm into the section where you have to start using your second color or your medium color. So now I'm just starting to refade my top colors down into that again. So I'm just kind of winging it. However it turns out, I'm sure it will be beautiful. But I decided to do something slightly different. And so far it's working. I like it. So I got my little dragonfly stitch marker on. I really don't remember where I got this from, but I believe she is a Canadian maker on Etsy. So yeah, there's that. And this is my medium color that I'm using. It's Zen Gardens. It's also another one that I picked up on the island, and it does have a sparkle to it. I think the camera is picking that up. So pretty. I don't know what the colorway name is because when I caked it, I put the ball band on my table, and where it got to, I have no idea. So, sorry. If I can find the name somehow online, I will put it in my project page, but so far I don't know what it is, but it's just a beautiful limey green and it is tonaled. So pretty. So that's my medium color, and then I need a darker color, and I'm trying to use stuff that's in my stash right now, so it's not gonna be darker than the dark green in this. I was kind of hoping it would be, but I don't have anything like that. And I'm gonna be going on a bit of a yarn diet this summer where I don't know why it keeps, there we go. So I don't want to really have to purchase more yarn. So going out of stash, although it won't be that dark, I've chosen this skein, and it's like an olivey green, and it's got, again, a gold speckle in it. I love the gold speckle. And this one is Baller by Suburban Stitcher. So I think that it will work out. I think it'll be nice. So I'm not quite sure, but I think it will work. I'm going to try it, and if I see that I don't like it, well, I guess I'll change routes, but so far I think this will be my third color that I'm going to use. So I am super excited about this shawl. So that saw a lot of love. I had only just done, not even finished the top section on it when I had put it away, so that's mostly what I've been working on because it's fairly mindless at this point. There is some lace sections in it, I believe. I brought the pattern. You can see how she chose to do it, and you can see how it has these beautiful lace sections in it. So right now I've done the eyelet sections up here. Where am I pointing? Yeah. I've done the eyelet sections up here, so now I'm going to be coming down into that fun lace. But it is super mindless at this point, and I've been really enjoying it, and I've been really enjoying seeing how the colors are working up. So pretty. So that was the Impressionist by Helen Stewart. Okay, that's it for the knitting this week. So now I will move on into stash enhancement. So we've got a beautiful bag of goodies here. This was from my road trip to Fredericton yesterday, and I Sorry about the crinkling if some of you don't like that. Tricot puts it in these beautiful, beautiful bags. And I will admit to hoarding them sometimes because they're so pretty. So I picked up a few things. I was looking online and I was trying to pick out some of the patterns that have caught my attention lately and ones that I've been wanting to do. So I actually didn't just go and pick out anything and everything like I usually do. I actually went with patterns in mind. So one of the patterns that I want to do, and for the life of me I cannot remember the name of it, but it is a colorwork hat. And it uses DK weight yarn. So I picked up these two beautiful skeins. And this is the Barocco Vintage DK. And I did not look up the names of these before I started. But the white is color number 2101. And it's just this beautiful white. There was a creamier version. Instead of being so white, so bold, it had more of a cream base to it. But I wasn't seeing any in DK. They had a lot of the worsted, but not DK. So I just chose to go with this one. And then this beautiful color, I had to, this was the one that had to come home with me. I just love the color. And this one is 2192. And just look at that color. I love it. I've been so drawn to these colors lately. And if I could have a sweater in something like this, that would be so beautiful. Oh, I love it. So these two will be coming in a hat very, very soon. I would like to work on my color work a little bit more, so yeah, there's those two. And then I ended up picking up another skein of yarn, and this one almost didn't happen because I was trying to avoid this beautiful wall of Madeline Tosh. I love Madeline Tosh. Madeline Tosh was one of the first like more premium expensive yarns that I ever used, so I've always been drawn to it. I've always loved her yarns and the colors. So whenever I go into Cricket Cove or a yarn store, it's almost possible that I'm going to be coming out with a skein of it. Well, they are slowly, the Cricket Coves are slowly clearing out of Madeline Tosh. I'm not sure why, but they're slowly clearing out. So when we went to Fredericton yesterday, they had all Madeline Tosh at 20% off. And it's really sad to see it go because Madeline Tosh is so beautiful. But what are you going to do, right? So I was trying to avoid that wall. And when I heard 20% off, of course, I had to go take a peek. And I saw some beautiful stuff, but I managed to roll away from it. And then as I was coming where the wall was, I had to come around this other aisle of shelves back to checkout, and there was a basket sitting there, and I suppose somebody had picked the skein up and set it on top. And when I saw the color, I knew it was coming home because it is glazed pecan. And I had been looking at this color for months and months on the Madeline Tosh website. I've so wanted it, and when I saw this, it was coming home. So it's Matosh, and it's in the prairie base. So it's 100% superwash merino wool. It's lace weight, not fingering. And it's 840 yards. So, and like I said, it's glazed pecan. Hopefully that is, there we go. And am I holding it right? Sorry guys, I've never done this before. There you go. So I was a little sad that it was lace weight because I don't knit lace weight. I don't really have the patience for it. Fingering weight, I love fingering weight, but I've had lace weight before, and I've ended up tearing the projects back apart and gifting out the yarn just because, yeah. But I'm going to have to get over that because this color is so beautiful. So I kind of have a plan for it. I was thinking of doing, about doing a fingering weight shawl. It's a pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. And I want to say With Grace is the pattern. I'm not sure. It's a triangle shaped shawl. It's one of her latest ones that she came out with. Her project picture for it is it's a purple triangle shawl, and it's got some beautiful texture going on. It's just stunning. So I have that on my list to do. So when I saw this color, I was thinking I will somehow make it work, and hopefully there is enough yarn to do it. I think there might be, but I might be converting it into a lace weight shawl. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. But either way, I'm just so excited to have this because the color is so beautiful. I love it. So that was my favorite purchase coming out of Knit Picks. And then I picked up some needles. So I got some chagus. My friend Shelby, we kind of did a swap of DPN needles. She gave me her chagus, and I gave her my Knitter's Pride carbons, their DPNs, so we could, try them. I have knit with chagus before, but that was a long time ago, and I don't remember what I felt about them. But after knitting with her DPNs, I realized that I really, really liked them. So I decided to get a pair of, I think I got 2.75. They're fixed circular, so it's a 40-inch cable. And I got it in mind for the Madeline Tosh because it's lace weight. So I figured if I was going to do the shawl, then I needed a pair of needles. So, yeah. So I got those. And these are the lace ones, too. So they don't have the bend in them. I wasn't sure what the difference was, but now I realized they just don't have the bend when it comes down here to the cable. So, yeah. So I got that. And then I ended up picking up a set of stitch markers. And this is Owls on Dentes. And I believe she is local to the Fredericton area, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. But they had a basket of these sitting up by the counter. And there was different kinds. So I ended up getting the pretty ones with the hearts. Like heart-shaped. Super cute. So, yeah. That was my little haul from Cricket Cove. And we went to Michael's after, and I ended up picking up some canvas fabric to do some new bags with, and some cotton fabric for lining, and pretty much that was it. I was surprised that I came out of Michael's without any yarn. That usually doesn't happen, but I went down with a budget, and I actually came out below the budget. And that was including having lunch as well. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, in all, it was super fun. I didn't bring the fabric along to share with you guys, but I'm sure that you will see the bags pretty soon because I want to be more familiar with my sewing machine. So yeah. So that was my haul, and I was super excited again, like I said, about going there. Kathy was wonderful, and she was very helpful, and wanting to know if she could help in any way to reach things down and such. So I really, really appreciate that so much, because being in the chair, I'm super short and I cannot reach things. And it was really funny because the Madeline Tosh was, it was like one shelf higher than like my height, so I couldn't reach up there, which was probably a good thing because there was some really pretty Madeline Tosh speckles up there. Oh, they were so pretty. They were like a natural base with pink speckles in them. It was so gorgeous, but I didn't dare ask for somebody to bring it down because, yeah, I was trying to be good. And I was, so yeah, but I really appreciate that. And it's a lovely store. So again, if you're ever in the Fredericton area, you do have to check them out because it's really nice. And apparently the St. John store is actually even bigger and better. So might have to go check that one out this summer. I don't know. So anyways, it was super fun. And like I said, I have posted a little thing on my Instagram of the yarn shop and our little visit, so you can go check it out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't got any other stash acquisitions lately. Like I said, I'm trying to be good, and I'm going to be going on a yarn diet. So there might be, the yarn diet's going to start next month. So I'm probably going to do one more order with knit picks because I have a shawl in mind. It's the What the Fade by Andrea Mowry. I have been watching Lofty Loops. She has a podcast here on Ravelry on YouTube, and I'm sorry I can't remember her name, but she is new to me. I saw her on Instagram and I realized that she had a YouTube channel. So she is a hand dyer, and she does beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I just started watching her podcast, and I am just taken with her yarn and her colors. Her colors are so me. It's unbelievable. But I just love watching her podcast. She did a swag, and it's in a beautiful denim blue as the body. And then she has, it's a speckle that she uses for the lace section. It's white, but it does have like a faded speckle in it. So it's hard to tell by looking, but as you get closer to it, you can actually see the speckle in it. So it's so beautiful. And she's now doing a What the Fade in her yarns. And it's these beautiful pastel purples, and I think she's got some blue in there and some green. It's just so gorgeous. So when I saw her doing that, I decided that I needed a What the Fade in my life as well, because I like triangle shawls and I like fingering weight shawls. So the What the Fade is a monster. It's 6 skeins of fingering weight yarn, so it's super big, but that is what I love. So I have to make this attempt to make it because it's so pretty. It's brioche. The top section is in brioche, and then the bottom section you redo the sequence of colors in garter stitch, but I'm not going to let that deter me. I want to learn brioche this year. It is a goal that I have set for myself, so I'm going to try to do that. I was working out my colors for it, and I think I'm going to do Knit Picks Hawthorn, and I'm going to go between the Hawthorn tonals. That's going to be my solids, and then I'm going to use some speckles, 2 different speckles. I have blueberry speckle here, so I've kind of been basing my colors off of that, as I have quite a few skeins of it. I was going to make myself a fingering weight sweater and I backed out. That was last year. So I've knit a pair of socks with one of the skeins, and I'm thinking of doing a swag, which is a fingering weight sweater. I know, but I almost have to have it. So I'm planning to use some of the blueberry speckle for that, and I was thinking another great way to use it up is in the What the Fade. So I've gone on to Knit Picks and I chose some yarns that I think are going to work together. I have a hard time with doing like figuring out colors and fades, but I think I got it figured out. So I'm going to be using the Hawthorne line between the tonals, the multi, and the speckle. And it's going to have some very dark plummy purples and some dark blues to play off of the speckles. And it's also going to probably have some purple in there because the blueberry speckle has, it has blue, purple, and maybe black or a darker purple speckle in it. So I'm pulling the colors from that. So yeah, that's kind of what my dream knitting is to come. So I will probably make a order with Knit Picks just to get the skeins that I need. And I have 3 of them here. So I just need to order those last 3 skeins to make the fade. So super excited about that. But that will probably be my last yarn purchase for a while. That's okay. I have lots of yarn to go through, so we're good. Anyways, I am going to stop babbling now. I will probably see you again in 2 weeks, and I hopefully will have more to share with you. I did not work on my weekender at all. I was hoping to at least have the body finished by this podcast, but the last 2 weeks were just too busy between my school and stuff like that. I just haven't been able to knit as much, and the brain space that I do have left over to knit, I just didn't feel like knitting on it. It's plain stockinette stitch, it's not hard, but it's gotten to the point where it's big and bulky, and I just didn't have the energy to work on it, so I didn't. But maybe my next podcast we will see it again. Who knows? So anyways, I will say goodbye for now. Again, you can check below for the show notes and all the places that you can find me or get in contact with me. So until then, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye. Love yous.